Welcome to today's history lesson. We are going to look at KCSE History and Government Paper 2 1996. Section A, 25 marks. Answer all questions in this section in the spaces provided. Identify two sources of information which historians use to write the history of Africa, 2 marks. List two economic activities of early man during the Stone Age period, 2 marks. Give two factors which led to the early urbanization in Africa, 2 marks. Identify one use of bronze in ancient Benin, 1 mark. List two forms of communication used to send messages to distant places in the shortest possible time, 2 marks. Name two main cash crops that were grown in North America during the Agrarian Revolution, 2 marks. A. What is barter trade? 1 mark. B. Identify one limitation of using barter as a method of trade, 1 mark. Give two functions of the Baganda traditional parliament, 2 marks. Name the empire that was ruled by Samori Touré during the European invasion of Africa, 1 mark. Give two ways through which Islam had spread in Africa by the 19th century, 2 marks. Name two systems of colonial administration which were used by the British to administer their colonies in Africa, 2 marks. What is constitution? 1 mark. In which two ways did the Organization of Africa Unity (OAU) contribute to the liberation of the Southern African countries? 2 marks. Name two agencies of the United Nations Organization UNO which deal with the problem of health, 2 marks. Section B, 45 marks. Answer any three questions from this section in the answer booklet provided. 1. A. In what ways did the development of the steam engine contribute to the growth of industries in Europe during the 19th century? 3 marks. B. Explain 6 factors which led to the emergence of Japan as an industrial power after the Second World War. 12 marks. 2. A. What factors led to the development of trade between North Africa and West Africa during the pre-colonial period? 3 marks. B. Describe the effects of the trans-Saharan trade of West African societies. 12 marks. 3. A. Explain 3 ways in which macadamized roads are an improvement to road transport. 3 marks. B. What were the results of the development of railway transport in Europe up the end of the 19th century? 12 marks. 4. A. Why were African independent churches established? 3 marks. B. Explain 6 factors which promoted Christian missionary activities in Africa during the 19th century. 12 marks. Section C, 30 marks. Answer any 2 questions from this section in the answer booklet provided. 5. A. What methods did the European powers use to acquire colonies in Africa? 3 marks. B. Explain 6 factors which influenced Lewanika of the Bauzi to collaborate with the British. 12 marks. 6. A. Describe the factors which facilitated the application of the French policy of assimilation in the 4 communes in Senegal. 3 marks. Discuss the effects of the French policy of assimilation in Senegal. 12 marks. 7. A. What is the role of the Prime Minister in Britain? 3 marks. B. Explain 6 functions of the federal government of the United States of America, USA. 12 marks. KCSE History and Government Paper 2 1996. 1. I. Archaeology. E. Oral traditions. IV. Anthropology. V. Botany, zoology, biology, genetics. V. Written records. V. Geology. V. Local paintings, sculpture. 2. I. Hunting wild animals. E. Gathering wild fruits, roots and vegetables. E. Fishing. IV. Crop farming. V. Administration. V. Trading. V. Making stone implements. V. Pottery. 3. I. Trade. E. Mining. E. Religion. IV. Agriculture. V. Administration. V. Trading. V. Security. V. Education centers e.g., Alexandria. X. Availability of water. 4. I. Making royal regalia. E. Making status of rulers, noblemen and warriors. E. Making ornaments, decorations. IV. Making religious figurines e.g., gods. V. Making weapons. 5. I. Telephone. E. Telegram. E. Telex. IV. Fax. V. Email. V. Television. V. Radio. V. Courier letter. 6. I. Tobacco. E. Cotton. E. Corn, maize. IV. Wheat. 7. A. Barter trade is the exchange of goods for other goods, trade in kind. B. I. Some commodities are bulky, heavy, and are difficultly to transport. E. It may not be easy to establish the exchange rate of commodities. E. Perishable goods are likely to go to waste if negotiations are not done in time. IV. It requires double coincidence of demands. I. Indivisibility of some commodities. 8. I. It made laws for the kingdom. E. It checked on the activities of the government. E. It presented the interests of the people countries. IV. It advised the Kabaka. 9. I. The Mandinka Empire. 10. I. Jihad, holy wars. E. Missionary activities of Muslim scholars. E. Commercial interactions, intermarriage. IV. Influence of already converted African rulers. V. Intermarriage. V. Migration of Muslims, Arabs. V. Fear of being enslaved. 11. I. Indirect rule. E. Direct rule. 12. A body of fundamental principles on which the government of a state is based. A system of laws and principles on which the government of a state is based. 13. I. The AOU provided material support to freedom fighters, e.g., arms. E. It gave financial support to freedom fighters. E. It provided military training camps and other facilities to freedom fighter. IV. It presented the problem of the nationalists in international form. V. It provides the nationalist with a forum to air their grievances. V. Provision of refugee camps for the displaced nationalists. V. Provided education to the members of the liberation movement. V. It campaigned for sanctions against the oppressive Southern African regimes in international form. 14. I. World Health Organization, WHO. E. United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Section B. 1. A. I. The development of steam engines facilitated faster transportation of raw materials and finished industrial product. E. Provided a source of energy in the factories, e.g., the spinning factory. E. It was used to pump water out of the mines to facilitate mining, e.g., the coal mines. IV. Facilitated faster transportation of industrial workers. B. I. Provision of education which emphasized on technical training. E. Japanese work ethics which discouraged idleness and encouraged hard working. E. Government policy which granted subsidies to industrial entrepreneurs led to industrial growth. IV. Availability of raw materials from within Japan, e.g., silk, and from other Asian countries which they colonized, e.g., cotton from China. V. A well-established industrial base. By 1954, Japan had well-developed industrial base upon which other industries were built. V. Availability of local and internal markets stimulated industrial growth. V. Existence of a labor force with industrial know-how. V. Availability of capital from local and foreign investors, especially the USA financial aid which was provided after the Second World War. The Marshall Plan stimulated industrial growth of Japan. X. Availability of energy, e.g., HEP stimulated industrial growth. 2a. I. Existence of enterprising North Africa merchants. E. Availability of trading items, e.g., gold from West Africa and salt mines of the Sahara Desert. E. Availability of capital provided by the Berber merchants of North Africa. IV. Demand for scarce goods in North Africa and West Africa. V. Presence of Tuaregs who guided the traders through the Sahara Desert. V. Presence of capable rulers who offered protection of traders. V. Presence of oasis. V. Use of camels and horse. V. I. The trade led to the development of towns in West Africa, e.g., Gao Timbuktu. E. It led to the spread of Islam and Islamic learning in West Africa. E. The trade led to the emergence of a class of wealthy people, the merchants who participated in the trade. IV. The trade promoted intermarriage between North African and West African. V. Growth in agricultural production. V. Increase warfare. V. The trade introduced new cultural values in West Africa. E.g., people adopted new styles of dressing and eating habits. V. Trade led to the introduction of Arab architectural designs in West Africa. X. Trade led to the introduction of empires, e.g., Mali, Songhai, and Ghana. X. It led to the depopulation of West Africa through slave trade. She. West Africa was known to the outside world. 3. I. They are all-weather roads. E. They are durable. E. Water drains off easily. IV. They provide a good motoring surface. I. Railway transport led to expansion of trade in Europe as goods were quickly transported from one point to another. E. Facilitated the movement of people from one place to another. Thus, promoted greater interaction among people. E. Railway transport promoted agricultural growth as it assured farmers of means of transporting their goods. IV. The railway transport provided employment opportunities. V. The development of railway transported led to growth of expansion of urban centers. V. It facilitated the development of industries in Europe by providing quick means of transporting raw material, finished materials and industrial workers. V. It led to environmental pollution through emission of large amounts of carbon dioxide smoke into the atmospheres. 4. I. Existence of already established trade routes which connected the African coastal raiding posts with the interior facilitated the movement of the missionaries. E. Use of guides and porters made the movement of the missionaries and the transportation of their luggage easy. E. The learning of local languages by the missionaries facilitated their activities among different communities. IV. Training African catechists and other religious leaders helped in spreading Christianity in Africa. V. The discovery of cure of some tropical diseases, e.g., quinine for treating malaria fever, reduced the number of death cases among the missionaries. V. Support and protection given to missionaries by some African rulers, e.g., Lewanika of Bulanzi promoted missionary activities. V. Support from the church organization in Europe enabled the missionaries to carry out their activities. V. Support from the colonial government, e.g., protection against some hostile communities, enabled the missionaries to carry out their activities. X. The establishment of mission stations which were used as bases from which they operated. The stations also provided other social services, e.g., health care. Translocation of the Bible and other Christian literature made Christianity accessible to many African communities. Section C. 5a. They signed treaties with the local ruler. They used military force to subdue communities which resisted. They signed treaties among themselves to partition Africa, e.g., the 1890 Angola-German agreement, which German gave Witu to Britain and Britain gave Heligoland to German. Use of treaty tricks, deception. In order to protect his kingdom against the Germans and Portuguese. Lewanika desire Western education and civilization and wanted the British to introduce it in his country. Lewanika wanted the British to protect him against his internal enemies, e.g., in 1884 Lewanika forced an internal rebellion. Lewanika was encouraged to collaborate with the British by King Khama of Botswana, who has already sought British to protect his kingdom from attacks by other African communities such as the Nabila and Shona. Lewanika wanted the British to protect his kingdom from attacks by other African communities such as the Ndebele and Shona. Desire to promote trade between his people and British. Lewanika was influenced by the European missionaries who had visited earlier, to collaborate. 6a. A high percentage of the mulattoes in the population of the communes who appreciated the European culture, made it easy for the French to apply their policy of assimilation. The people in the four communes had long interaction with the French trades, administrators and missionaries, and this enabled them to appreciate European culture. A high percentage of the inhabitants of the four communes had been converted to Christianity, and this made it possible for the French to apply their policy. The application of the assimilation policy led to the promotion of French culture in Senegal. The policy of assimilation undermined African culture as many adopted French culture. It undermined the authority of the traditional rulers as they were replaced by the assimilated Africans. Senegal was incorporated into French Republic and regarded as an overseas province of France. Africans from Senegal were allowed to participate in the political affairs of France. Some of them became deputies and ministers in the French government. It undermined the spread of Islam in the four communes where many Africans had adopted French Christianity. It created division among Africans. In Senegal, some became citizens while others became French people. It created a class of Western French education in the four communes. It led to the development of Western French education in the four communes. Class of African elite spearheaded nationalism. 7a. The Prime Minister is the leader of the House of Commons. Is the head of the British government. Chairs cabinet meetings. Appoints and dismisses ministers. Initiates both domestic and foreign policies. Represents Britain. The federal government of USA formulates and directs foreign policy. It regulates internal and external trade. It declares war and makes peace with other nations of the world. It gives currency to the member states of the Federation and regulates its supply. It formulates and enforces policy guidelines on taxation for the member states of the Federation and regulates its supply. It gives grants to member states of the Federation and monitor their use. It formulates policies governing internal security of the entire Federal Republic. It mediates in interstate disputes within the Federation and monitor their use. Established a federal aimed force. Passes laws needed to carry out its power. She admits new states. She establish federal court. She establishes postal systems. Kindly let me know what video I can look at tomorrow. Thanks a lot for listening to me. God bless you.